And welcome to The One Thing I Know for Sure, the podcast designed to unlock powerful insights that inspire transformational change. My name is Wendy Rosenthal. I am Chief Pathfinder at Pathfinder One-to-One, a transformation coaching practice where we look first internal, then external to help our clients really impact every single one of their days in the most positive way and to step into their greatness. I'm very excited to be here with you. Each episode, we have a guest where we ask one very important, deep, and meaningful question, and we focus on that. And that question is, what is the one thing that you know for sure? Today, I am so excited to welcome Sandy Asch, a good friend, but also an extremely inspiring woman that I am very lucky to know. Sandy is a TEDx speaker, a best-selling author, a resilience thought leader. I love that. A resilience thought leader. Like a lot of people need resilience right now, Sandy. They probably need you more than ever. And a Woman of Influence Award winner. Her best-selling book, Roar, was named by Inc. magazine as one of the best business books written by a woman. Thank you so much for joining me today, Sandy. I'm so excited to have you here.
Super happy to be here.
So, Sandy, I'll get right to it. Tell me, what is the one thing that you know for sure?
One thing I know for sure, Wendy, in our current times, it's non-negotiable to make your health and well-being your number one priority. Sounds super simple, but
it's not easy. I was going to say that is a very important thing that you know for sure. I bet you it's like 130th on the list of what most people's one thing that they know for sure is. Why do you think that is?
The current world was so bombarded, if you've noticed,
Yes.
lately by stress, demands, pressures, pollution, stuff in our water. I've just moved into a new house, chemicals in the new furniture, in our food, pesticides, dyes. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a time where our body, mind, and spirit has been this bombarded by external, I'm going to say, potentially negative circumstances that can and often does just slowly erode at our health and well-being. I mean, honestly, without our health and well-being, it just is super hard and sometimes impossible to fulfill on our soul's mission. And that's the work that you do, right? You help people find their soul's mission and get on the right path. And yet, when your body doesn't have that foundational energy and vitality that you need every day, sometimes it's hard to get out of bed, right? It's hard to stay focused. It's hard to really fulfill on all the things that you want to fulfill on. And it's not an easy decision to make, and it's not an easy practice.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you, because it almost seems obvious, right? Like people always talk about, my health is so important. And, of course, if you have your health, you have everything. So it's almost like it's what you're saying, you kind of want to go, oh, duh. Of course, that's the one thing, for sure. We should all know that. But besides the external things coming in, what is that internal blockage that sometimes makes it really hard for us to put our wellness and health, in that first position?
I think that's a question you would probably answer with great wisdom. For me, in my experience, and it could be different for different people, it's just sort of an innate inertia around our health and well-being.
Yeah.
We just make assumptions, we have expectations, our body is going to keep doing all the things that it needs to do, we're going to stay healthy. I saw a quote recently that said you can have 100 problems, and when you lose your health, you only have one problem. And sometimes we have to wait until we get that smack over the head of the 2x4 until we stop and we say, and I will say the other reason sometimes we don't put our health and well-being first is we're so caught up in the hustle, go, go, go of day-to-day life that very often you may notice you're bloated or, you're sluggish or you have a headache or your allergies are bothering you or this or that, all those things that have sort of become normal. I often say sick and tired has become normal, that we just don't stop to take care of. We just pop the Claritin or the Sudafed or whatever over-the-counter allergy med or the ibuprofen, or we take an extra energy drink, and we don't allow ourselves the grace, I think, of pausing and making the conscious choice in that moment to address what's really going in our bodies and why our bodies are trying to get our attention, right? It's waving the flag all of the time, I think.
Right. I think that's very obviously very astute. And I also feel like sometimes it, you know, it flies taking care of our health and our well-being flies in the face of wanting to have fun. And, if I do this, I can't do, like, it feels sometimes restrictive. And maybe that's why it's hard to kind of make it a priority. But in your experience and with all that you do, I just want to say, and maybe that we didn't say it when I introduced you, like, you are the founder of the Whole Woman's Way. I can't believe that I didn't say that. And so you have a lot of insight about how to take that idea and actually make it the first priority in your life without literally having to have doctors around you all the time and all of that. So can you share what putting health and wellness as a priority, your number one priority in your life, actually can look like?
Yeah, well, I'll say, first of all, I learned the hard way. My health and well-being was very compromised, and I just thought that's the way it is. That's how way everybody is. It's not a big deal. You just keep on go, 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 go.
Mhm.
And then one day I realized, wow, if I don't stop and do something different, I think I'm going to get a diagnosis. I don't know if you've ever had that experience where you think, gosh, if I just keep going in the same trajectory, it's going to get me.
Mm-hmm.
So I packed up and moved to Mexico. I did that for several reasons, but one of them was to put my health and well-being first. And I will tell you, it took me months of slaying the dragon and struggling with myself to rewire, because it affects every choice that you make.
Yeah.
So for just as a practical example, I started to get more conscious of everything I was putting in my mouth, like every forkful. It's like, is this building me up? Is this nourishing me? Is this giving me vitality? Or is this going to compromise me in one way or the other? That was number one. And then number two, every decision I made during the day, and I still try to do it. Now that I'm back in the US, the proof is in the pudding. Can I do
Yeah.
this here? So
Yeah.
people don't have to go and move to Mexico or Costa
I
Rica
was
or
going to say that might
wherever.
be hard for some people to do. I appreciate
So,
that you in the position to do that, but
right. Not everybody can do it, but it's
yeah.
about the conscious choice. And so just practically I have to make the conscious choice. And sometimes I do. Lately, I haven't get myself out of bed and invest the first 30, 60 minutes in my health and well-being, doing the practices that I've learned over time to do that really support me in having vitality and clarity and energy. And then making the decision to excuse myself early from the event in the evening, or turn off the TV, turn off the electronics, and get in bed at a regular time and get really good sleep. I mean, it's all of those choices on a day-to-day basis that have us rethink. So it's a matter of just sort of pausing in every moment and saying, what is going to serve my health and well-being here? And if I serve my health and well-being first, what will be possible for me? And the what will be possible is sometimes so compelling that it almost encourages and empowers you to make the choice that ultimately is going to serve you.
I love that. So what I'm hearing you say is it really boils down to one thing, and that is being present in every moment to ask yourself what you're doing is adding to your health or well-being. And from there, then all of the other things can be, because we're all different, right? So I love to run, right? So that for me is my release and for my mind and my body and my spirit, actually. But not everybody wants to run or can run. So it's not about a prescribed, like, set, do this, do this, do this. It's asking yourself and being present every day to, are you making the choices that are going to help you have better health? And I assume by health, you also mean not just physical health, but mental health, spiritual health, and all of that.
Yeah, the whole thing, it's an orchestra.
It is an orchestra. And I think I would add this, and I know you well enough to know that you not only practice this as well as teach it in all of the things that you do, but also to have grace for yourself, right? Because even when you're putting your health, and wellness up front, it's like you said earlier, it's not an easy practice.
No, I mean, a couple of months ago, I moved back from Mexico to the US. So with the move and the change of weather and, this and that, it makes it difficult to keep your routine and make the choices,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's about falling off the boat, getting back on, falling off the boat, getting back on. There's several, I mean, there are incredible people out there talking about longevity and health and well-being and vitality. One of my favorites, may I share?
Yes, please.
There's a guy by the name of Gary Brecka, Brecka. His company is called The Ultimate Human. He has a podcast as well. And I heard about him probably about a year ago, and then I really started to listen to his podcast. And I would say the trim tab, the game changer for me was the morning routine that he suggests.
Nice.
Some very simple things that we can do that I sort of added like one habit at a time. I started by getting out of bed 30 minutes earlier, taking a cold shower, which I know not everybody wants to do, going outside, putting my bare feet on the grass. Okay. Then I added another one of the habits of doing, 3 rounds of really deep breaths to oxygenate and circulate. And then I added doing a little bit of exercise, and then I added putting a little bit of mineral salt in my water to mineralize our body, because our body gets very, very dehydrated and demineralized. And slowly over time, I stacked the morning routine that he recommends that for me was and has been a game changer. Currently, I'm trying to get back in that routine. But I feel like if you start strong like that, the whole day is different.
Awesome. Well, we only have a couple minutes left. So Sandy, I want to give you an opportunity to, if you have any quick tips, maybe that's the one is to get that book and then listen to him to start a routine. But I also want to give you an opportunity to share what you're doing and to direct people to find you if they have any questions or an interest in learning more about what you do.
Yeah, so Gary Brecka's podcast, The Ultimate Human, or his website. My website is Whole Woman's Way, and I'm all about supporting and mentoring women to trade in stress and overwhelm for healthy balance, vitality, and peace of mind. Priceless assets in today's world. And if anybody's interested I created this daily checklist for myself of all the good choices that I aspire to making on a day-to-day basis. And I'll send you the link. And if anybody wants that, you can just download that for free.
Perfect. Well, Sandy, thank you so much for joining us today. I've been inspired to relook at my routine and start putting my health and wellness at the top again. I have to make that choice every single day. And for those of you who are interested in learning more about Pathfinder One-to-One and our transformational coaching that we do, feel free to check out www.pathfinder1to1 and all of our social media sites with the tag at Pathfinder One-to-One. So excited to share this information with you. Please feel free to comment and let us know what your healthy habits are and how you're putting your health and wellness as a priority. And we will see you again soon. Thanks so much.